The movie begins with a happy couple, Alice and John, waking up together every morning. Alice, a well-behaved wife, wants to prepare breakfast for John, but he reminds her that the fridge is empty as they do not have money. However, Alice suggests that they visit her mother's to get breakfast, but John tells her that he would rather starve than do such a thing. As a result of their financial problems, John has to wake up every morning and work hard to earn money for their living. He soon leaves the house on his bicycle to his workplace, Laurel Spring, where he works as an insurance telemarketer. Soon after, John gets to his office and receives complaints from his boss, while he tries to make some sales over the phone. John tries to defend himself, stating that his bad sales are due to the bad economic situation of the country, but his boss is having none of that and doesn't care at all, insisting that John produce better results. Elsewhere, Alice has a job interview. She states her undergraduate degree and emphasizes how she is qualified for her dream job, but she is rejected by the company as she does not have lots of experience or a master's degree like the rest of the other applicants. Saddened by the outcome, Alice returns home, but her day only gets worse. Shortly after, while Alice searches for a job online, their proud landlord hits their door extremely hard, demanding money for rent, which causes more trouble for the couple. Desperate, Alice hands him a check, but she asks him not to cash it until the end of the week. Arnie wonders why she is so broke, as she was voted the most likely to succeed in high school, but soon finds out that John is the reason as John approaches the house. Not long, Alice checks their e-banking statement and discovers that they do not have enough to pay the rent as they are in debt of $45. The following morning, the young couple decide to head to town and shop for some food items as their fridge is still empty. Yikes. On their way to the grocery store, a truck crashes into their car at a crossroads, as there is no stop sign on the road. Fortunately, the couple is unhurt, but they are forced to wait for a while till the police arrive and investigate the accident. While they wait, it turns out that there is an antique shop that is run by an old lady. Alice spots the old woman picking up a golden teapot from the ground and sees her walking into the shop. Curious about the attractive teapot, Alice walks into the shop and starts a conversation with the old lady. While they talk, the old woman gets distracted by the phone, giving Alice adequate time to look around for the teapot. She eventually finds the teapot, touches it, and gets hooked by it. Alice runs outside of the shop, holding the teapot tightly to her body, and orders her husband to drive away very fast. John is displeased by Alice's behavior, but she insists that the item is so pretty and refuses to let go. Afterward, Alice calls a friend to book a job interview, while she straightens her hair. She mistakenly burns her forehead and the teapot starts to tremble, which surprises Alice. Her phone falls from her hands and she approaches the teapot in surprise. She removes its cap and sees some dollar bills in it. In no time at all, Alice starts to make the connection and quickly deduces that her pain caused money to flow out from the teapot. She decides to test the theory one more time and intentionally burns her forehead, which causes the teapot to tremble again and produces a total of $700. Still not sure of what has happened, Alice tests the theory one more time by kicking a chair and hurting her foot and fingers. Not surprisingly, more money is produced in the teapot, which couldn't have been more perfect as John is getting fired from his job at the same time. At the telemarketing office, the manager, Mr. Trudy, informs John that they will be laying off some staff and he is the first to be fired, which surprises John as he has been working in the office longer than most of the remaining employees. However, Tudor informs him that the management did not decide based on seniority. John returns home and finds the living room in complete disarray and Alice is almost unconscious, causing him to panic. Alice reassures him that she's fine, but he informs her that he got fired and she tells him that it doesn't matter anymore. She then gives him the teapot and John feels a funny vibration. Alice slaps John and then shows him the money that the teapot has produced. She explains that the teapot will pay them to hurt themselves. John has a hard time believing it, but Alice kicks him very hard in the groin and the teapot goes crazy, bursting money out of it. John initially realizes that this whole thing might end badly and makes a move to return the teapot to the antique shop. However, on getting to the shop, he finds out that it has been closed down. John then takes the teapot to a cash or trash style TV show where the host values it at $5,000. No deal for John. In the meantime, an Asian middle-aged man watches the show and seems very interested in the teapot. He pinpoints John's location on the map hanging on his wall. John and Alice agree to earn $1 million out of the teapot and then stop. They make themselves go through painful experiences and stash some cash. They carry the teapot to different organizations that offer painful services. Alice goes for a Brazilian wax while John visits the dentist. They then leave for the tattoo shop and the couple accumulates $194,000 from going through these pains. Due to the large amount of money involved, The couples hide the money in their toilet tank, as they cannot take it to the bank to avoid suspicions. But who says they can't enjoy themselves in the process? They indulge in some kinky spanking and the teapot really likes that. Alice and John's lives change for the better, and not just on the outside, but their mood has been elevated as well. That's apparent at the lunch table, where Alice's mother and her sister can't seem to understand how they are doing so well, while they are just dependent on John's salesman salary. However, they manage to convince them, saying that they are selling Alice's egg to sterile women. Soon after, the couple makes plans to buy everything they have always wanted to buy, as they have finished paying off their debts. Everything seems to go well until two Jewish brothers, Gilad and Yoel, intrude on them and knock on their house. Alice immediately hides the teapot while John leaves to attend to them. They start beating up John, asking him where the teapot is. Gilad informs him that he knows he has the teapot, as he saw him on the television, and adds that their grandmother risked her life to obtain it. Alice informs them that she brought the teapot from their grandmother, but Gilad insists that their grandmother told them that the teapot was missing. Alice soon tells them that they have sold the teapot, but the brothers demand money from the sale of the teapot. Alice proves devious enough to trick them. She quickly gets the money that the teapot has produced due to the beating John received and gives it to them. They take the money and leave, but this event alarms them and they decide to research the matter of the teapot a bit deeper. They visit a library to learn more about the teapot and find just the right book about mythical magical objects. Alice sees a page depicting the sad consequences of the usage of the teapot. When John is distracted, Alice tears that page off as she doesn't want John to see it. However, John finds the consequences of using the teapot on another page, but cannot find more details as the page has been torn off by Alice. Alice states that they cannot rely on the information contained in the book because it is old, and suggests that they spend some of the money. The couple lives their dream life for a while. They buy a new car, and a new fancy house in a rich neighborhood near Peyton's house, renew their wardrobe, and they throw parties with high-profile guests. During the housewarming party, an Asian man, Lee, rings their doorbell and introduces himself as Li Ling of the Theosophical community. He says he is interested in ancient artifacts, especially teapots. John genuinely wants to listen to the man, but Alice just can't let go. She tells John they will lose everything if they lose the teapot. Li Ling tells them they are in great danger, but Alice does not believe him and shuts the door in his face. That's not the only visitor they get. Their former landlord, Arnie, visits the couple and gets into the house without being invited. He asks them how two losers like them can end up in a nice neighborhood like that. Arnie acts all stupid, he is drunk after all. He takes the teapot out of their hands and runs outside with it. John tries to take it back, but Arnie throws the teapot in the middle of the road. Arnie runs over the teapot with his truck, but the teapot is perfectly fine. Not even a scratch. Alice finally feels relieved, but it seems strange that a teapot can endure the pressure of a truck running over it without taking any damage. They visit Li Ling and ask him about it. Li reveals that his society has been tracking it and says the teapot can't be destroyed, and the only way to get rid of it is to hide it in a way that nobody can ever find it. He talks about the history of the teapot, stating that it has made its way into the hands of some of the best and the worst people of all time. Li warns them that even if there is a bit of evil in them, the teapot will bring that out and magnify it. The last time there had been any reports on the teapot was in a Nazi camp a long time ago. Again, Alice convinces John to not hand the teapot over. She claims they are good characters, good people, and they will never lose control of themselves. So their struggle continues. One night, the two brothers who assaulted them in the past, break into their house again and steal their money in the middle of the night. They comment that John and Alice are amateurs because they hid their money in the toilet flush. John and Alice hear them and get out of their bedroom to confront them. The brothers confess that they are not really after the teapot because they know what pain it can cause and how it makes one mad. They've seen it on their grandmother. They also state that it was their grandmother who removed the stop sign on the road, causing the accident. So, they let John and Alice take all the pain and create their fortune for them. They are just after the money. John and Alice try to stop them and a fight breaks out. Alice starts hitting them with the teapot and John gets knocked out by the brothers. Alice tries to prevent them from leaving with the money, but she is also knocked out by one of the brothers. Things have gone into a downward spiral. The teapot now pays less money than it used to. And frankly, Alice and John have taken enough damage till now. They have hurt themselves a lot. So they decide to get some help. They visit a biker's bar and ask who the meanest person there is. The barman points John to the right guy, an ex-convict, and John starts a fight with him while carrying a bag with a teapot in it. Of course, hoping for the best return in profit. John is hurt and Lee approaches him again. He tells him that the teapot is consuming him and his wife. At the same time, Alice observes that the teapot can produce money when other people are hurt as well. A skater trips near Alice and the teapot makes money. Alice shares this knowledge with John and they start attending painful events to assist the teapot in producing money, such as MMA fights and births. The teapot has indeed started consuming Alice's soul. While she's driving the car with John sitting next to her, Alice mentions that this world is full of pain. A homeless man is crossing the road while Alice is deeply absorbed in her little world. She accelerates intending to run over the poor man. John steers the wheel at the last minute and saves the man, preventing his wife from committing murder. They verbally fight with each other. Alice blames him that he can't cooperate and he can't understand her vision. Another little discovery for Alice. The teapot has produced money out of emotional pain this time. She tests her new theory on John by insulting him real good. She is right. The teapot produces money out of emotional hurt as well. Alice demands from John to emotionally hurt her. John is reluctant at first, but then obeys Alice's demand and describes a past event when he kissed another woman, and how he still thinks about that kiss sometimes when he kisses Alice. Oh, now that's painful. They make that a regular thing. Insulting each other and sharing dark secrets of their past to make each other feel awful so that the teapot can produce money. Alice tells John that Arnie went down on her before they got married and she did the same to him. Angry, John goes to Arnie's wife to reveal the secret to her but Arnie hits him, causing him to fall to the ground. Alice drops her bag to help him but Arnie sees the teapot again and the cash in it. In the end, Alice concludes that she has never been so honest with another person in her whole life. They stop doing that to each other and start making other people feel bad by exposing their secrets to their loved ones. They manage to pull a good amount of money. Alice would go as far as exposing her own sister's dirty secret, that her first child was conceived with another man and not her current husband. They put the plan into action but Alice regrets it and doesn't expose her sister. Upon reaching home, John tells her that she did well and she is a good person, but Alice says that her remorse will delay their progress. She suggests they pull one large final stunt to reach $1 million and then stop. John argues they already have enough money but Alice won't hear any of that. She says there are pedophiles and drug dealers in the playgrounds. If they kill one such person, they will both do society a favor and, in addition, they will get paid well. John doesn't agree with the plan but he can't say no to his wife. They go as far as digging a grave but John is now determined to stop. He says he can't go on with this. He asks Alice who she would choose between himself and the teapot. Alice does not answer, prompting John to leave in disappointment. John visits Lee and asks for his help but Lee says that it's already too late. John tells him to just steal the teapot but Lee says that it doesn't work that way. They have to willingly hand him the teapot. That night, when Alice finishes her bath and walks to the bedroom, she finds John sitting on the edge of the second-floor window. He pleads with her to give the teapot back after he's gone. Alice pleads with him not to jump but John jumps. Alice is worried about her husband and she rushes to meet him. John soon regains consciousness and wakes up. He asks Alice if she now is willing to give the teapot to Lee. She says she is ready. But there is one more problem. The same night, Alice and John go to sleep. They hear a noise from downstairs and John goes to check on it. This time, someone has stolen the teapot. That someone is Arnie, who suspects the teapot's mysterious abilities. Alice decides to let go of the teapot and asks that they get rid of everything that was acquired from the teapot, but John says that they cannot let Arnie have it. The next morning, the couple leaves for Arnie's house but no one answers the door. They break into the house but Arnie has hurt himself and so does his wife, Brandy, because they have discovered how the teapot actually works. Arnie points a gun at them but John knocks it out of his hand and a fight breaks out between the four of them. Brandy points a shotgun at them but the two brothers are thrown in the mix just before she shoots the couple. They ask Arnie to give them the teapot but he refuses, forcing Gilad to shoot him. Alice and John hide behind the couch and Alice recalls that they had touched the teapot when they invaded their house to steal their money. Luckily for John and Alice, and with the help of pistols and rifles, all the others eliminated themselves. After the gunfight, Alice and John find a lot of money scattered on the floor and they leave the house carrying the money and the teapot. They see Lee outside the house and finally hand over the teapot to him. Lee praises them as kings and queens in the past haven't been able to get rid of the teapot's influence, but they managed to do it. A few months later, Alice sends a check to Louise, while the couple leaves the town to start a new family in Mexico. Elsewhere, Lee also drives to an ocean and drops the teapot in the ocean where no one will ever find it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss out any videos.